checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. Shall we do that, guys? Let's get this show on the road. Let's do it here, guys. Emergency Management Associates says X5. The X-class flares are the strongest earthquake flare or solar flares that you can get. These cause earthquakes. These solar flares cause earthquakes. How is that? When the sun sends out a solar flare, the first thing that reaches the earth is the X-ray. Then, after that, what happens? We get the main part, the pole, the radiation, the pulse from the sun. It comes across space. It takes anywhere from 2 to 3 days. Then it hits the earth. We're getting hit with radiation. Okay? We're getting hit with plasma radiation. That's what's doing this. We have a lot of earthquakes to talk about tonight. Lots of earthquakes to talk about. I'm going to talk about California earthquakes in just a minute. I want to play around here just a minute. Okay? Today is hump day. Yes, instead of a camel, I've got a donkey. Okay? Happy hump day, guys. Happy EMA hump day here. Yes, I have one happy donkey here. Let's put it that way. One happy donkey here. Okay? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I also want to announce this. We generated an EMA RON here. We generated an EMA RON here. This is in a blister pack. We're hopefully going to get these out on our YouTube channel here so you can buy EMA RON blister packs here. That would be fun to have, okay? An EMA rondel, okay? I'm going to try to get this done, okay? I'm working right now. I developed this on AI, and hopefully we'll get an EMA rondel out for everybody to be able to purchase an EMA rondel here. That would be fantastic. Fan cotton picking-tastic. Hurricane Heather says, love it if I'm getting one. I hope you can get one, okay? I hope you can get one, Heather. I would hope everybody that watches this program will at least want it and possibly even get it. This is going to be a fun thing. This is going to be a very fun thing, guys, okay? So I want to show you this in the beginning. Guys, we're coming to you from the east part of the United States, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Unreal. Out on the foothills of the Continental Divide, the Eastern Continental Divide of the United States of America, and actually North America itself, okay? Here in Morganton, North Carolina. It's a wonderful thing, okay? But I want to talk about earthquakes first, okay? I've been doing a lot of research. I would like you to see what's going on here. Let's take this EMA doll down here. Let's bring up the USGS map here so I can actually show you what's going on here. Take down our banner here. I'll take down our webcam for a minute. Let's show you what's going on. This is an earthquake in the Greenland Sea. This is a very strong earthquake. This is a very strong earthquake, guys. I'm not going to blow any steam up your skirts, okay? This is a big earthquake. USGS has it at a 5.7. Guess what? Guess what? I've seen images of this being a 6.9 earthquake. I pulled up the back seismology study page, or back seismologist study page, and I found earthquakes upwards of 6.9. Upwards of 6.9. I had 6.2s, I had 6.4s, 6.5s, and the largest earthquake seismograph reading was a 6.9. 6.9. Okay? There were two readouts, one for a 5.4, then a 5.7, and then I zoomed in to the earthquake readings from the seismograph, and I had readings up to 6.9. 6.9 earthquake, guys. This is in the Greenland Sea. Okay? Primary wave was a 6.9. 6.9. This is a 4.1 aftershock. 4.1 aftershock. And they are not even being honest with us at that. They can't. They never are. They've never been honest with us yet. Let me show you what my device says here. Hold on a second. Okay, I want to show you this. I'm going back to our webcam so you can see what I have to show you here. Okay, there are 5 aftershocks. 5 aftershocks. This is a 5.7. The USGS and the European Agency says that it is. But there are actually 5 aftershocks here. Okay, one out to the west here. This is that 4.1 we're showing you here. Then one other one here, just to the north of this. This is a 2.5 minor earthquake. Aftershock. Aftershock. Then 3 more. Okay, down to the southeast here. This is a 2.4 aftershock. Minor earthquake. To the north, this is a 3.8. Then out to the northeast here, this is a 1.4 tremor. 5 aftershocks, not just one. 5 aftershocks, not just one. Now, let's go further south here. This is in the Greenland Sea here, northeast of Norway. Northeast of Norway. Okay. Let's go down here to Iceland. Let's go down here to Iceland. What's it showing here? Nothing. Not a thing. Well, guess what? We have earthquakes here. Okay. This one is a 2.2 earthquake just off the northern coast of Iceland here. Then we go over to east central Iceland. Subdurmar. This is a 2.2 earthquake here. Then we go south here on the southwest side of Iceland. Borjarnes. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake. Minor earthquakes in Iceland. They're not showing us those, are they? Not a chance. Not a chance. Now, we told you about earthquakes in the South Atlantic down near South Sandwich Island. Guess what we have here? This is over near the Azore Islands, near the Mid-Atlantic. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake here. 2.2 minor earthquake in the Azore Islands, just east of the Mid-Atlantic Fault. The Mid-Atlantic Fault here. Okay. Then while we're here, let's show you. Let me zoom out here. Let's go down here to the Canary Islands here. Let's go down here to the Canary Islands. Okay. Agete, Canary Islands. This is a 1.9 tremor here. 1.9 tremor. Let's zoom in here so I can truly show you what we got here. Okay. See where it says Las Palmas de Gran Canaria? Guess what? 1.9 tremor right there. USGS not showing, are they? Not at all. Not at all. They never do. Spain, earthquakes in southern Spain here as well. Okay. Incredible. And the Azore Islands just off of Portugal and western Spain, here's a 2.4 earthquake there. They don't tell us about those, do they? Southern Spain, 1.6 tremor. We go a little bit further to the northeast. Here's a 2.4 in Spain. And over to the coastline of eastern Spain, this is another 1.9. Then we go over here to the border region of France and Spain right here. See two earthquakes here, don't you? Oh, yeah. Let's look at that. Okay. Just for kicks and giggles. That's a 2.1. Border region of Spain and France. We go over further to the east here. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake there. And you can already see earthquakes in Spain or in France there, don't you? See earthquakes in France. Okay. This is near the Rhone Alps. Rhone Alps here. This is a 2.0 earthquake there. Going further to the east, also the Rhone Alps, this is a 2.3 earthquake here as well. We go up to the north here. This is Les Mognier Centre Val de Loire, France. I know I just butchered the French language here. Here's a 2.0 earthquake here. We go further to the northwest here. And I know I'm going to butcher this. Pires de la Loire, France, 2.5. 2.5 minor earthquake. USGS not showing anything, not a thing. That's normal. They never do show anything there. Rarely do they ever show anything there. Now, let's go over to Germany. See Germany here, guys? Grafenau, Germany, a 2.2 earthquake there. We go up to the north. Heidenroth, Germany. Heidenroth, Germany, 0.6 microquake there. Okay, unreal. Then we go up to Norway and Sweden, and even Denmark. Okay, southwestern Norway, Rogaland, Norway. Let's zoom into southern Norway and Sweden right there. Okay, southwestern Norway, Rogaland, Norway. That's a 1.2 earthquake there. 1.2 tremor there. We go over to the southeastern part of Norway. We have a 1.4 tremor there. Okay, let's go north. This is on the eastern mountains of Norway. Eastern mountains of Norway. It's near the border of Norway and Sweden. This is inland at Norway. 1.2 tremor there. Then we go over here to Sweden. Okay, Örebro County, Sweden. I used to live in Örebro. Right in here. See where it says Örebro land? Örebro land is your Örebro County there. I lived in Örebro. Okay, here we have a 1.3 tremor. Then we go further over here to Trollhättan. Actually, this is just north of Trollhättan, a town called Vänersborg. I traveled over to Vänersborg as well. Let's bring that up here. See where Trollhättan is? I used to live in Trollhättan, Sweden. Okay? I'm trying to bring up there's Vänersborg there. That's where this earthquake is. This is a 1.3 tremor here in Vänersborg. Okay? When I used to live in Sweden, we didn't have any of these things happening. We started having earthquakes in Sweden and Norway last year. Then we come down to Denmark. Okay? I've kind of showed you a little bit of where I used to live in southwestern Sweden. Let's come down here to Denmark. Offshore from Denmark right here. Okay? This is a 1.5 tremor there. And again, USGS is not showing that as well. Nothing. 1.5 tremor here. Okay? Yes, these are tremors, but we've also had 2.5 earthquakes in Norway and Sweden before. Just so you get an idea of where we are. Okay? Again, USGS is not showing any of this. Earthquakes all over Europe here. They're not showing any of them. Not one. Not one. However, let's go over here to Cyprus. I've got some information for Cyprus here, guys. We've had 3 earthquakes, actually 4 earthquakes here in Cyprus. Right here. Okay? This supposedly was a 5.3 earthquake here. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you exactly what happened here. Right here. Okay, it's right near a town called Zachariah. Guess what? Over 153 people felt this earthquake. They said this was a 5.3 earthquake. Guess what? Again, I went to the back seismologist study page this afternoon, and I found out that this was at least a 6.3 earthquake. 6.3 earthquake, twice the size, actually not twice the size, but 100 times the size. From a 5.3 to 6.3 earthquake here near Zachariah, Cyprus. People live in this region. People live in this region. Look at this population area here. Look at this. It's a highly populated town. 6.3 earthquake here. 6.3 earthquake. It's not the only one here as well. Further to the southwest here. Right there. This is a town called, this earthquake is near a town called Talla, Cyprus. Okay, Talla, Cyprus. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. 4.5 earthquake. Okay, USGS is showing us 3 earthquakes here. Actually, 4 earthquakes here. Okay, incredible what they're not showing us. There's another large earthquake here. Okay, USGS has this as a 5.2. 5.2. I saw entries on the back seismologist study page upwards of a 6.9 earthquake. Upwards of a 6.9 earthquake here. People live here. Cyprus is a tourist trap, guys. Beautiful country. Beautiful countryside here, and there are also monuments here, places to see. Okay, this could have been a very, very detrimental earthquake. And USGS is only shown as a 5.2. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Further south here, this is a 4.7 earthquake here, near Timmy, Cyprus. Guess what? They want to show us 4 earthquakes. Let me show you something. Look at this. Not 4 earthquakes, guys. Not 4 earthquakes at all. Okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 earthquakes. 28 earthquakes here in Cyprus, not just 4 or 5. Incredible. Offshore from Cyprus as well. Now, I'm not going to show you every earthquake here, but let's tap some of these earthquakes out. Let's go over here to the north. North Central Cyprus. This is a 2.2 aftershock. Okay. Let's go here south of the big 5.3, which was actually a 6.5. 6.5. Here's a 2.6 aftershock. Okay. Let's go further out here to the west. Pegia Paphos, Cyprus. 2.2 earthquake here. Minor earthquake, aftershock. Let's go out to the ocean here. Actually, let's go to the coast first. This is on the coast of Cyprus, western coast of Cyprus. This is a 2.1 earthquake. Okay. Off the coast to the northwest. Here's a 2.4 aftershock. Let's go further down here to the south here, off the coast of Cyprus here. Here's a 2.2 there. Just south of there is a 2.5. 2.5. One more, actually 2 more off the coast here. Here's a 3.5 aftershock. One more down here. That's a 3.2 aftershock. 3.2 aftershock. 28 aftershocks here, guys. 28 aftershocks. And they show a poor 4. That kind of tells you what USGS wants us to not see. They don't want to tell us everything. Ever. Not ever. Over here in northwestern Turkey. Northwestern Turkey's been seeing an onslaught of earthquakes. We've had a lot of 5s over here. Northern Turkey. Look at this. 200 plus earthquakes here. 200 plus earthquakes here. There are over 1,800 earthquakes around the world today. 1,800 earthquakes around the world, and they don't show us hardly anything. If you go over the USGS map says they're showing us 232 earthquakes. 232 earthquakes here. They are not even showing us even a fraction of the earthquakes have hit. They're not showing any of these in Turkey. Hundreds of earthquakes have hit here in Turkey today. Look at this. Hundreds of earthquakes have hit here in Turkey, and they're only saying there's 232. Guys, down here in southern Turkey, we have 50 plus earthquakes right there. 50 plus earthquakes right there. Interesting. Going here to the Turkish-Syria border region. Turkish-Syria border region right here. Let me show you something. Look at all the earthquakes here. These earthquakes here in the Turkey-Syria border region are aftershocks. Aftershocks of a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened on February 3rd, 2023. Nearly 3 years ago, we're still having aftershocks here from a very major earthquake here. Very major earthquake here in the Turkey-Syria border region. And they're still not showing us the earthquakes there. Incredible. Sickeningly incredible. That 9.0, 10.0 earthquake killed over 5,000 people and injured over 5,000 others. And in Turkey, it left a great big huge fissure in the ground 14 miles long. And an 8-story building could have fit in the bottom of that fissure. Yeah. An 8-story building could have fit in the bottom of that fissure. Okay? Major, major earthquake. And they say, oh, it didn't ever happen. They said it was a 7.8 earthquake. I showed you all the data then. Okay? I showed you all the data over 2 years ago. 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. And they wanted to pass it off as almost nothing. Yeah. That's the kind of agency we have. And it's not because of a government shutdown either. It has nothing to do with the government shutdown. This is the South Sandwich Islands here. We've had quite a few earthquakes in the South Sandwich Islands here. This is another 5.0 aftershock, 5.0 earthquake. 5.0 earthquake here. Southeast of there. A 4.7 moderate earthquake here in the South Sandwich Islands. This one is 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. The large earthquake here is also 6.2, 10 kilometers deep. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Again, these 5.0 large earthquakes make themselves go over here to the east, and they climb out of the Antarctic ridge where they're at right here. They climb out of the Antarctic ridge, and they go up the South Atlantic. They go up the South Atlantic, and they become earthquakes here in the South Atlantic. This seismic energy will climb through the South Atlantic, go here, over here in the Central Atlantic, and then over here in the North Central Atlantic here, and climb all the way up to Iceland. They'll go all the way up here to Iceland. Okay? Now again, what's happening over here in the Atlantic Ocean? What's happening here in the Atlantic Ocean, guys? Anybody that's been watching this program knows what's going on here. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding like this. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is pushing Africa and Europe in the easterly direction. It's also pushing Greenland and the entirety of North America, Canada, the US, and northern Mexico in a southwesterly direction. Now, they're not showing any earthquakes here, but I can assure you, there are tremors from New York south into Georgia. Tremors from New York south into Georgia. Tremors and minor earthquakes and some small earthquakes. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Virginia and North and South Carolina. They're happening. That's because the Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding, pushing North America in a southwesterly direction, pushing Africa and Europe in an easterly direction. That's happening. It's also pushing South America in a westerly direction as well. That's why we're having earthquakes on the West Coast. They're not reporting any earthquakes here on the East Coast today in South America. Let me bring this up in South America here so I can show you what's going on here. They're not showing any earthquakes here on the eastern South American coast. The only earthquakes they have are over here on the West Coast of South America. Okay? But again, look what USGS is not showing us here. They're showing us one earthquake over here in northern Chile, Camina, Chile. We had many, many earthquakes here in Camina, Chile. This is a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. This is a very shallow quake, 5.3 miles deep. 5.3 miles deep, about 9 kilometers deep. But look what we have here. We have a lot more earthquakes than that. Close to 35 earthquakes here in South America. Most of these earthquakes are here in Chile and Argentina here. Look at all these earthquakes here. Look at all these earthquakes. 10 plus earthquakes in northern Chile and Peru. 10 plus earthquakes over here in Chile and Argentina here. Incredible. And they're not just 2.0s. 3.6, Antofagasta, Chile. 3.6 small quake there. Here's a 2.7 minor earthquake there. Okay? We have 3.2s, 2.9s, 3.5s, down here in central Chile, 3.2s. They said there's 10 plus earthquakes. There's actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 earthquakes here in central Chile. 14 earthquakes here in central Chile. Fascinating. Northern Chile, different story. We've had, let's see here, 2, 4, We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19 earthquakes here in northern Chile. 19 earthquakes here in northern Chile. Interesting. You never see that on USGS map. Not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Nearly 40 earthquakes in the Chile, northern Chile area, between central Chile and northern Chile. Unreal. Southern Peru. Here's a 4.0 moderate earthquake in southern Peru. Okay. We go north. Southern Colombia. Here's the 3.1 southern Colombia. Off the coast of Colombia, this is a 4.75. 4.75 here. This is closer to Ecuador. 4.75 off the northern coast of Ecuador. We go north here. Meta, Colombia, 2.8. We go north. Santander, Colombia. We have a lot of earthquakes in Santander, Colombia every day. This is a 3.9 4.0 earthquake. 3.9 4.0 earthquake here. Okay. A lot of earthquakes. Lots and lots of earthquakes. Come down here to Central America. Most of these earthquakes are 3.2 to 3.9 earthquakes. 3.2 to 3.9 earthquakes here. Okay. Going up here. Nicaragua, in fact. 3.0 earthquake here. Further off the coast on the Cocos Plate, this is the 3.52 earthquake on the Cocos Plate. Okay, going north. This is off the coast of Nicaragua. Off the coast of Nicaragua as we go north. A 2.58 minor earthquake there. Okay. Central America. Then we go over to southern Mexico. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17 earthquakes near this volcano. 17 earthquakes near this volcano here. Southern Mexico, another volcano. Earthquakes surrounding the volcano. Why are they not showing them here? Why are they not showing them here? The volcano's right here. I showed them. I showed that volcano to you yesterday. Okay. So here in southern Mexico, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 48 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. They're not showing here. They're not showing here at all. They're not showing any earthquakes whatsoever. Over here, just south of Puerto Vallarta. South of Puerto Vallarta here. Actually, this is 31 miles south of Puerto Vallarta here. This is a 3.6 earthquake here. 3.6 earthquake here. Yesterday I showed you earthquakes around Zihuatanejo, another resort here in southern Mexico. Good old Zihuatanejo. Acapulco. 2 earthquakes northeast of Acapulco. 2 earthquakes. One a 3.0, and this is a 3.9, 4.0 earthquake there. Just west of Acapulco. Incredible. Incredible. There's Acapulco that I just showed you just a minute ago. 2 earthquakes just north and west of Acapulco here. Incredible. Going into northern Mexico. Here's a 4.1 moderate earthquake here. 4.1 moderate earthquake here. Then we go down to Cabo San Lucas. Let's go over here to Cabo San Lucas on the southern end of the Baja, right here. 20 plus earthquakes right here. And they're not showing any at all on the USGS map. Very rarely do they ever show any earthquakes here. Interesting, huh? Yeah. Very, very, very interesting. We go up to the center part of the Gulf of California. Central part of the Gulf of California here. Here we have a 3.6 earthquake here. 3.6 small earthquake there. Interesting, because USGS doesn't show it. We're going to go down in the Imperial Valley just a little bit later. I'm going to show you computer readouts called seismograms from the seismographs recording earthquakes down here in the Imperial Valley. They're showing us 2 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley. This one here is in the Salton Sea at the volcano, the Salton Butte volcano. Let's pull that up right here. Right here at the Salton Butte volcano. They're recording it as a 0.8 microquake. 0.8 microquake at the Salton Butte volcano. One other earthquake west of there. This is 10 kilometers or 10 miles east of Ocotillo Wells, California, in the Imperial Valley there. Okay, 10 miles east of Ocotillo Wells. Further to the west, right here. Okay, this is 12 miles southwest of Ocotillo Wells. 0.5 microquake. This is a 1.5 tremor here. Okay. 1.5 tremor there. Guess what? They're not showing another earthquake here. Right here. Not showing this. This is a 1.05 tremor. 1.05 tremor right there. Okay. Then we go over to Escondido. Go over to Escondido in North San Diego County. Right there. See where Escondido is? We go over to Lake Henshaw. Lake Henshaw here. Okay. Here we have a 1.0 tremor here. 3 miles north-northwest of Lake Henshaw. Fascinating. Fascinating, but guess what? Lake Henshaw is over here. Just a second here. They're saying this is 3 miles northwest of Lake Henshaw. For some reason, they're not even showing this earthquake. I'm not showing the Lake Henshaw here. They're showing Palomar Mountain here. Palomar Mountain's where the telescope is. Okay. This is way further south than Palomar Mountain. There's Escondido there. Lake Henshaw is nowhere near Valley Center. This earthquake is actually northeast of Valley Center. That's not where Lake Henshaw is. Okay. Lake Henshaw is right here. Okay. Lake Henshaw is down here. This is way further north than Lake Henshaw. Way further north and east, not even anywhere close to where Lake Henshaw is. They say this is 3 miles northwest of Lake Henshaw. It's a lot further than that. Okay. I used to live here now, Escondido. I'm very familiar with this area. I fished at Lake Henshaw myself. Okay. Nowhere near Lake Henshaw at all. Okay. All these earthquakes here, Borrego Springs, the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. That's a 1.1 tremor. This is a 0.6 microquake here. Go further north here. This is Hemet, California, Orange County. This is in the Anza Gap, what they call the Anza Gap here. Okay, all part of this area. When we have swarms of earthquakes, that usually dictates that we're going to have a much larger earthquake here. We're not having much larger earthquake right now. These earthquakes here are on the San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault here, including this earthquake right here near Winchester, California. This is the second day in a row we've had earthquakes here at Winchester, California. Going up here to the northeast, Beaumont, California. That's a 1.4 tremor. This is a 1.0 tremor, also 2 miles north of Beaumont. Go further north here, Yucaipa. San Andreas Fault just to the east of there, Yucaipa. This earthquake, for all intents and purposes, is on the San Andreas Fault here, San Andreas Fault. This is Redlands, okay? This is on the San Jacinto Fault here. This is a 2.0 in Loma Linda, California. I'm going to show you guys a cytogram from Mira Loma. Mira Loma is just south and west of Loma Linda. This was a 2.0 minor earthquake here in Loma Linda. This is a 0.8 microquake in Loma Linda. Going here. This is in Loma Linda, California here. This is in Loma Linda, California here. I believe these 3 earthquakes here, this one, and this one could be considered Loma, California. So we should, when we look at the Loma quake or seismogram, we should be seeing these earthquakes. Okay, lots of earthquakes here. Out here to the east, Ukaipa, right next to the San Andreas Fault. You can see the San Andreas Fault right there. All kinds of earthquakes are hitting here, and USGS is not showing it at all. This earthquake here, Cabazon. This is a 1.2 tremor on the San Andreas Fault right here. You can see the fault right there. Right on top of the San Andreas Fault right there. And just out here to the southeast here, Morongo Valley. Morongo Valley. This is 1.0 tremor on the San Andreas Fault. Okay. Now I want to go back down here to the south. Over here on the northeastern side of the Salton Sea here, this is a town called North Shore of Salton Sea. So when I show you this, the seismogram from North Shore, you're going to know where it's at. Okay. The San Andreas Fault can be called the Imperial Fault once it enters Imperial County, just north of the Salton Sea here. When the San Andreas Fault enters Imperial County, they refer to it as the Imperial Fault. Guess what? The San Andreas Fault goes all the way down the eastern side of the Salton Sea here. Right here is where the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea. Bombay Beach. Guess what? I'm going to show you in a few minutes the seismogram from Bombay Beach. I'm going to show you 3.0, 4.0 earthquakes here today at Bombay Beach. Yeah. 3.0, 4.0 earthquakes, small to moderate earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. These earthquakes happen here every day. But again, you're not going to see USGS showing it because they don't want anybody to know about it. I'm going to show you over 100 earthquakes here in Calipatria. Calipatria, California, right here. Over 100 earthquakes here today, only in Calipatria, right in this area. But guess what? USBS is not showing any of these. Over 100 earthquakes here in Calipatria. They're not showing any at all. None. Zero zilch. Yesterday we had our friend Juanito that lives in El Centro, who's here on the program. He feels these earthquakes here because he's living here. He's living here. You see Brawley right there. Brawley also has earthquakes here. Okay? Let's go south here. This is the town of Imperial. I'm going to show you a bunch of tremors. I'm going to show you some earthquakes here as well. The town of Imperial. Okay? Further south is where Juanito lives. This is El Centro, California. Good old El Centro. El Centro is a town of about 25 to 30,000 people. Maybe larger now. Why? There's a lot of military families here, Navy families here in El Centro. Why? Why, you say? Because this right here. Just to the northeast of El Centro, we have El Centro Naval Air Station. Navy has a major military base here. They fly F-14s, F-16s, F-18 fighter jets out of El Centro Naval Air Station all day long. That's why El Centro is as large as it is. Okay? I'm going to show you earthquakes in El Centro. 25 3.0 and large earthquakes here in El Centro today. And Juanito and his family feel those earthquakes every day. One other earthquake, or one other town here, down here in Holdville. Good old Holdville. Town about 5,000-10,000 people here. There's a museum here in Holdville called the Salton Sea Desert Research Station. They have a seismograph here. I'm going to show you earthquakes down here in Holdville every day. Every day here in the Imperial Valley, they have over 500 earthquakes a day all over the Imperial Valley. Is the USGS showing us anything? They're showing us basically 2 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley. One at the Salton Butte volcano here, one further west right here. That's all they're showing us. There's over 500 earthquakes every day in the Imperial Valley. Over here in San Diego. Good old San Diego. Right here. Okay? Mission Valley's right here. See Interstate 8 here? See Interstate 8 right here? Right where it says San Diego. This is called downtown San Diego there. Right out here on the other side of Interstate 8. Here's Interstate 8. See where Friars Road is here? And Marina Boulevard. Guess where I'm going to show you where a seismograph is located here on Marina Boulevard. Okay? Just north of the Mission Valley Shopping Center down in east of San Diego City. There is a San Diego Gas and Electric building here. They have a seismograph here. I'm going to show you that seismogram from that seismograph. Today, earthquakes here in San Diego. Tremors, but there are earthquakes here in San Diego. All over here. Earthquakes all over LA here. They're not showing us anything in LA. Nothing. Not a thing. Now I'm going over here to Channel Island as well. I'm going to show you a seismogram in just a minute from Channel Island. Yes, they have tremors and minor earthquakes here on Channel Island. Yeah. Every day. Every day. Earthquakes all over LA, they're not showing us any. Over 400 earthquakes a day hit in Los Angeles alone. That means between LA and San Diego and the Imperial Valley, we have close to 1,000 earthquakes every day. 1,000 earthquakes just here. They're not showing much of anything at all. They're not letting anybody know what's going on. Why? Because they don't want to save lives. They don't want anybody to know what's happening here. If they did, they'd show these earthquakes. Because I believe people have a right to know what's happening. I believe everybody has the right to know what's happening. I showed you earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest today. Let's go up here. Again to the Blanco Fraction Zone, where we had an earthquake over here on the southeastern side of the Blanco Fraction Zone yesterday. We have another earthquake here. This earthquake is about 100 times the size of the earthquake yesterday. Earthquake yesterday was a 3.2 earthquake. This is a 4.2 earthquake here. 4.2 moderate earthquake here. 185 miles west-northwest of Barview, Oregon. Barview, Oregon. This again is in the Cascadia subduction zone region. the Cascadia subduction zone region. Okay? Again, this is just one more earthquake to showing you there is good sized activity here in the Cascadia subduction zone region. We are going to have a major earthquake here, a very, very, very major earthquake. I don't want anybody to forget about it. I don't want anybody to forget about it. Just because USGS doesn't want us to see what's happening here. They only report a handful of earthquakes a day here in the Pacific Northwest. There are hundreds of earthquakes a day here in the Pacific Northwest. Southwestern Vancouver, British Columbia, earthquakes here. All kinds of earthquakes. Washington, Oregon here, all kinds of earthquakes. But they don't want to show them what's happening because heaven forbid somebody would move away. Somebody move away. Now, why would they move away? They want to save their lives. They want to save their lives. I can't tell you to leave. I can't tell you to leave what's happening because of what's happening. But I can at least show you what's going on so you can make up your own minds what's going to happen to save your own lives. That's the entire purpose of our program, to advise you what's going on so you can make decisions, so you can make emergency preparedness plans, so you can put together emergency preparedness kits, not just for earthquakes, but for all kinds of emergencies and disasters going on. You have that right, and you should exercise that right. It's just like people moving out of New York City right now. Just like people are moving out of New York City right now. Why? Because they have an Islamic mayor. They have a communist Islamic mayor going to be sworn in on January 1st. That mayor is going to take over New York City with an iron grip. Hundreds of people already closing their shops and closing their stores here in New York City. People that have money are leaving. So they won't be subjected to communism in New York City. Communism and an Islamic hammer coming down all over their families here. We've reported on it. We're going to continue to report on it because everybody deserves a right to know what's happening. You deserve to know what's happening here and make your own plans and decisions what you're going to do. Okay? Besides that, Washington, D.C. Our government is reopening tonight in Washington, D.C. They're opening up tonight in Washington, D.C., guys. Why? Because the Democrats have had it closed for over 42 days now. The Democrats have had Washington, D.C. closed. Our government completely closed down coast to coast, north to south, east to west. Finally, 7 Democrats and 1 independent senator came forward 2 days ago, and they had a vote 2 days ago, another vote yesterday. Tonight, actually, let's back up. As of last night when they last voted, the Senate sent the compromise agreement. Wasn't very much of a compromise at all because the Democrat Party didn't compromise at all. But the same bill that the House of Representatives sent the Senate has now been sent back to the House of Representatives to be voted on tonight. And when they vote on it tonight, they will reopen the government. The House of Representatives have plenty of conservative people, conservative Republicans, that are going to vote on that bill. And when it gets approved by the House of Representatives, it's going directly to the President of the United States, and he will immediately sign it back into law and reopen this country tonight. That's what's happening here. So guys, if you are glad that the government is reopening, that our air traffic controllers, our senior citizens, and low-income people are going to be able to have their SNAP benefits and be able to buy food for themselves. Some of them have been gone hungry for the past 30 days because the Democrat Party closed down this country. The conservative people here in our government are reopening this country tonight. Tonight. Now, it will take a couple days to get things going. But the good thing is this. They'll get our economy rolling again. The government employees have been coming up to work, showing up to work, doing their jobs and not getting paid. They will get paid again, probably as early as Friday this week. Takes a few days to get it going, but by Friday this week, maybe Monday at the latest, the government checks will be going out. Federal employees will be going back to work. Air traffic controllers have been laboring without pay. Some of them have left their jobs, called in sick because they had to have some other way to make money, to pay their bills, to pay their mortgages, pay their rent, so they have houses with their families to stay in. They're all going back to work. That's a wonderful thing. Also, during the last few days, President Trump has also promised everyone across the board throughout the United States $2,000 for every adult. $2,000 for every adult. Comes from tariffs. That's also going to happen. Okay? Probably won't happen within the next few days, but it's going to happen. Every adult 18 years and over will get $2,000. That's going to help you out. The money is going to be coming from tariffs that the President of the United States has put into force to pay for bills here for our people, to pay the bills of our government, and to bring the national disgrace that the Democrats have put into force during the last 18 years. For years ago, when President Trump left office, he didn't have much time to put this into play, but now he's got tariffs put in around the world where governments are paying us from around the world, finally, because we've been paying the load for them. Now they're having to pay their own bills back. Thank President Trump you get those checks. Okay? He's trying to rebuild this country. But that's going to go in effect starting tonight. Let's go take a look at earthquakes over here in Southern California now. Okay? Let's take down the USGS map here. Let me show you what's happening. Actually, before I show you what's happening with the earthquakes, I want to show you this report. And this is important. Okay, I told you the other day we have cold weather going through the northern tier of the United States, from Washington State on the north all the way up to the East Coast. Okay, Kentucky, guys, Kentucky's been having not earthquakes, but snow. Icy, cold conditions in Kentucky. Let's show you this blizzard here. This is coming from television station WKYT in Kentucky.
And that snow caused problems for some drivers in southern Kentucky. This is what conditions look like earlier today on I-75 near the Kentucky-Tennessee state line.
Crews are also being called out to help clean up a multi-car wreck on northbound I-75 in Whitley County. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talking with first responders about that big mess caused by that early dose of Old Man Winter.
He is live at the Kentucky Welcome Center there in Whitley County with a look at the current conditions and what happened earlier today. Phil, what are you seeing? And good evening.
A crash that required a lot of cleanup.
If this is setting the tone for the winter, we're in for a long, cold, snowy winter.
First responders were called out around 10:45 Monday morning when cars and trucks hit some icy spots just north of the state line.
Luckily, there were no life-threatening injuries, no major fuel spills or anything like that, just a lot of inconvenience.
At least 8 vehicles were involved. Officials believe the bridge icing over was the likely cause of so much trouble for so many drivers. The crash shut down the northbound lanes for almost 3 hours. Southbound traffic was snarled as well.
To slow down when you start encountering snow because your visibility is going to be decreased, the roadway is going to be wet, the bridges and overpasses will freeze before the roads.
Okay, this is going to be ongoing, guys. This is going to be ongoing for quite a while. We've just barely gotten into the cold weather during the last couple of weeks. We've had some very cold weather where we live here in North Carolina. They said we were going to have some snow on Monday. It didn't happen. It hasn't happened since then, but guess what? I was still growing tomatoes up until Monday. We froze our butts off here Monday night. Guess what? We lost our tomato plants. We lost our tomato plants. We have 4 tomatoes still growing, and we lost those to the frigid temperatures. Couldn't save them. They're gone. They're gone. Let's go look at California earthquakes, okay? This is Channel Island that I showed you here on the map at the beginning of this program. This is Channel Island. Guess what? These are tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Channel Island just offshore from Los Angeles. These will continue to happen. Okay? Every day this happens. We have tremors and we have minor earthquakes on Channel Island. Let's go out to the desert. Rancho Mirage. Look at this. Yes, we have tremors here in Rancho Mirage, and as of about 11:05, 11:06 this morning, 2.0 earthquake on this black line. 2.0 minor earthquake here in Rancho Mirage today on the San Andreas Fault. USGS didn't show this to you, did they? Not at all. How about Bakersfield? Look at this. We have tremors here, but we also had another 2.5 earthquake early this morning. The top black line is 5 o'clock in the morning on the left-hand side. This earthquake here is 5:29 a.m. this morning. 5:29 a.m. this morning, we have a 2.5 earthquake here. Bakersfield, California. All the rest of this seismogram is showing you is tremors here every day. Yes, we've had minor earthquakes here before, 2.0s, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here in Bakersfield before. We've even had 3.0 earthquakes here too. Every once in a while we get 3.0s. We've had them here, they're going to continue to happen. Let's go out to Lancaster, northeast of Los Angeles. This is Fox Airport, Lancaster, out in the desert. These are all tremors here as well. Every day these tremors hit. Do you see these tremors listed by the USGS? Heck no. Heck no. Again, they don't want to show them to you because guess what? The San Andreas Fault has built up in pressure. These tremors are not releasing any of the pressure. The San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded, ready to go. And it's going to pop. I promise you it's going to pop. Let's go southeast to Hemet. Southeast to Hemet. I showed you earthquakes in Hemet earlier on the map. Guess what? This is Hemet, California. Excuse me. This is Hemet, California. Look at the tremors here. It's more than just one tremor here at Hemet, at the San Jacinto campus. This is a community college campus. I taught law enforcement classes here at San Jacinto before. These are tremors happening here. Not serious. These are very small tremors. 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, even up to 1.5 tremors here. Today. About 6:41 this morning, we had a 1.5 tremor here. You can see that here on the blue line here. Another 1.5 tremor happened after 7:30. Let's take a look. 7:36. Yeah, 7:36 this morning. Another 1.5 tremor there. San Jacinto campus in Hemet, California. Okay. Let's go out to Victorville. Most of us have a friend. Her name is Isaiah's Granny on YouTube. You don't see her here too much, but every once in a while she comes in here. Isaiah's Granny lives here in Victorville. Look what's happening here. Tremors all over the place. All over the place. All day long. Again, this is on the San Jacinto Fault, or San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault goes right through Victorville, California. It's there. You can see what's going on here. Okay? That's Victorville. Now, I want to take you over to Baldwin Hills, northwest of Los Angeles. Baldwin Hills is an oil and gas pumping operation. We have tremors here every day, just like this. But guys, we are seeing increased tremor activity. We see increased tremor activity as of about 8:15 this morning. 8 a.m. on the black line, down here at 8:30 on the blue line, and all the way down through the rest of the day on each individual line. Each individual line here is 15 minutes long. 15 minutes of time period long. We see tremors here building up. Okay? They're getting larger. Now, let's go over to Chino, California, out to northeast of Los Angeles. Chino in the past has had tons and tons of tremors and minor earthquakes. The minor earthquakes have dissipated now. All we have here are tremors here. Chino's gotten off lucky. But again, Chino is right on the San Andreas Fault. One of our own lives here. His name is Art. Art has been a very good friend of mine for I want to say 30, 40 years now. He's a great guy. He and his wife live out here with their kids. Guess what? Tremors and minor earthquakes have been all over here. Now today, all we've seen tremors here. That's going to end as well. The San Andreas Fault is going on here. Locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. Now, let me show you Del Amo. North of Los Angeles is a town called Del Amo. I'm going to show you quite a few towns here north of Los Angeles that are having earthquakes. Look at this. The town of Del Amo. 40, 50,000 people live here in Del Amo. Look at all these tremors. Yes, we're having some minor 2.0, 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes here. The longer lines you see are minor earthquakes. The shorter lines are tremors here. All day long. Literally all day long. It's happening. It's moving. It's moving, guys. Let's go over to Moore Park, also north of Los Angeles. Look at this. Just after 5:17 this morning, actually 6:17 this morning on the red line. 6:17 this morning is a 3.2 earthquake. Do they show this on the USGS map? Hell no. Again, they don't want anybody to see this stuff going on. 3.2 earthquake here in Moore Park. And look at the other earthquakes and tremors here. All day long here. All day long here. Moore Park, California. Let's go over to Part E. Look at Part E. Look at the number of 3.0 large earthquakes here. All day long. Tremors, minor earthquakes, and 3.0 small earthquakes. Okay, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 3.0 earthquakes and larger. Moore Park and Part E, 3.0 earthquakes, guys, all day long. Should anybody be concerned here? Absolutely, they should. Los Angeles is moving. All the different ancillary faults all over Los Angeles are moving, shaking. And people here in Part E and people I showed you on the side ground in Moore Park should be very concerned because you guys are feeling these earthquakes. You guys are feeling these earthquakes. And when the San Andreas fault goes, guess what? These ancillary faults are also going to shake very badly. I have friends that live here. I have family members in San Diego. Rob has his family here in Los Angeles, as well as up in Santa Ramona, California, just east of San Francisco Bay. He has family members there. He also has family members in San Diego City. Very bad. Very bad. When the San Andreas fault gives up, people are going to get hurt. USPS said there's probably going to be no more than 1,800 people killed when the San Andreas fault opens up. I think it's going to be very much more costly than that. I'm talking 4 to 5 grand of people, and just as many injured as well, if not more. Should you be concerned about Los Angeles? Oh, heck yes. You should be very concerned. You should be very concerned about what's happening here. Los Angeles is already shaking. Not necessarily on the San Andreas fault, but all sorts of places other than the San Andreas fault all over LA. It's happening. Let's go over to eastern Los Angeles, over Fontana. Look what's happening here. This is just west of the San Andreas fault. Just west of San Andreas fault. And we are also having 3.0s here. Just after 6:01 a.m. this morning, a 3.0 earthquake here. We've had other 2.0s to 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes all day long. Fontana, guys. East Los Angeles. Fontana's seen a lot more than 3.0 earthquakes here before as well. A lot more, bunches of them. They've even seen upwards of a 4.0 earthquake here in Fontana before, already during the past few months. It's going to hit here badly, really badly. Okay, that's Fontana. I want to go over to downtown Los Angeles now. This is a city county building in Los Angeles, a great big huge tall building. I think it's like a 20-story building. You guys have all seen pictures of it if you live anywhere in that area, or you've watched Dragnet or some of the other programs, movies. There is an emergency operations center in the basement of the building. In that operations center, there is a seismograph. You see what's going on here. Yes, we're seeing some tremors, but look at the bottom red line here. Look at that bottom red line. Today, this afternoon, just after 2:21 this afternoon, 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 earthquake in downtown Los Angeles today. It's happening, guys. We've seen more earthquakes than this before. Most of this is just tremors. That's very typical of what we see in downtown Los Angeles. Lots of tremors. Let's go over to Loma. Look at this. They said we had some tremors over in Loma, Loma Linda. They're true. That's absolutely true. Look what's actually happening, though. It's not just tremors. We're having some 2.0s, 2.3 earthquakes here. 2.0s, 2.3 earthquakes here in Loma and Loma Linda Medical Center area. You see them here. Lots and lots. This is pretty much typical. We've seen 3.0 earthquakes here in Loma and Loma Linda before. 3.0 small earthquakes before. We're going to see more of them. Okay? That's all, folks. There's more. How about Rancho Palos Verdes? We've seen a lot of fires going on there, right? Homes burning. Earlier this year, they had a huge flood as a result of rainwater going down the hillsides in Rancho Palos Verdes. They've seen homes burned down with fires. This morning, just after 8:21 this morning on the red line, 2.0 earthquake. Then after 9:15 this morning on the red line on the left-hand side, 9:15 this morning, we have a 2.6 earthquake. 2.6 minor earthquake. Neither one of these earthquakes have felt. The reason I'm showing you this is we have seismic activity here. It's building up. It's building up again. It's happened before, it's building up again. Okay? Let's keep going here. Okay. Let's go to Rinaldi, also north of Los Angeles. Look at this. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquake at 12:02 this afternoon. 2.0 earthquake. Before that, at 8:02 this morning, another 2.0 earthquake. Tremors and minor earthquakes all over the seismogram today. Rinaldi, California. Los Angeles. Are they telling us about them? No. They don't want us to know about it. How about Rio Hondo? Look at this, guys. Yes, we're having tremors here. But look at these wavy lines here in Rio Hondo. What's happening here? This particular seismogram is picking up magma movement. Magma movement down under the ground that we're walking on in Los Angeles. Where's the magma going? Out to the volcano over in eastern Los Angeles. Look at the magma movement here. That's a lot of magma movement. For the most part, you see some tremors, but we're also seeing magma movement here. This is serious. It's interesting, we had 50 people watching this program a minute ago. Now we have 35. What I'm showing you is serious, and the people who have been watching here has dropped. Now up to 37. Interesting. Magma is moving over to a volcano east of Los Angeles. What's going on? Out here. Walnut, California, La Puente, California. Both of these cities are built on top of a volcano. On top of a volcano. Okay? What's going on here? Over the years, this volcano has not been moving much at all, except during the last 2 years. Magma is moving and is regenerating these volcanoes. Volcano activity is increased. Magma is flowing from the deep part of the southern Pacific Ocean all the way out to all the volcanoes around the world. All the volcanoes around the world are recharging, including this one. Look what's happening here. Okay, the last time this erupted was hundreds of years ago. Hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands of years ago, we have water running over this area. Between water running over it, glaciation, wind, rain, the crater or the cone that was here has decomposed. It left dirt and rock. Bulldozers came through and bulldozed the area. They built homes. They built cities all over this area. Guess what? Right on top of the volcano. Okay, there's a great big huge lava rock at the top of the volcano. Guys, it's a plug of the volcano. The cities of Walnut and La Puente are built on top of that volcanic plug. As I've said before, there is magma down beneath it hitting that plug like this, causing earthquakes that you see here. Earthquakes that you see right there. Look at the earthquakes. Look at the earthquakes, guys. Look at this. Up at the top on the red line in the center here, center right. Right here we see 3.2, 3.3 earthquakes. But these earthquakes last nearly 3 minutes. Then out to the right of this earthquake sequence here, we see secondary quake happening, what they call a secondary wave. Yes, that secondary wave is mostly minor earthquakes and tremors here. But that secondary wave lasts 2 minutes. Guys, we had 3.5, 3.7 earthquake here. Because of the secondary wave going out to the right, we can see here that we see 3.2, 3.3 earthquake, but this was actually 3.5, 3.7 earthquake. This is actually a 3.5, 3.7 earthquake here, lasting nearly 3 minutes. The people in this area felt the shaking going on. Less than 30 minutes later, actually, yeah, about 20 minutes later. 20 minutes later on the blue line, 3.2, 3.3 earthquake hit again. This earthquake lasted 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. But the secondary wave on this one lasted nearly 3 minutes. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. On the green line below that, starting about 6:50 this morning, 6:50 this morning, another 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. In this case, it lasted 2.5 minutes. How would you like to see that long a shaking going on that early in the morning? The first earthquake that hit this morning was at 5:50 this morning. At 6:24 this morning, 3.5, 3.7 earthquake. $6:40 this morning, 3.2, 3.3. 6:50 this morning, 3.3 earthquake again, lasting 2.5 minutes. You can see the other earthquakes hitting here. These people in Walnut, La Puente felt this ground shaking. They got woken up this morning. Is USGS telling them what's going on? No, they're not. USGS is not even breathing about it. It's not just USGS here. This is a Caltech seismogram. California Institute of Technology, Caltech, together with USGS here. They're not talking about it. The ground is shaking here. They are also telling the news media to shut up. Yeah. The mainstream media are being told to shut up, not talk about it. Seismic energy here is caused by the magma down beneath inside the volcanic chamber, fracturing the rock. Fracturing rock here inside the volcano. That's what's causing these earthquakes, guys. That's what's causing these earthquakes. The magma pounding away at the bottom of that magma plug, and the magma coming into this volcano, fracturing the rock inside the volcanic chamber. The Earth is moving here. The Earth is moving. You saw the magma on the other seismogram. You saw the magma on the other seismogram, guys. The Earth is moving here in eastern Los Angeles. Rio Hondo, you saw the movement here. Let's go to a mountain range in downtown Los Angeles area here. This is Santiago Peak. I just happened to help repair help repair what they call a radio repeater, a ham radio repeater. Okay, yes, I've been a ham radio operator for a lot of years. I helped repair a repeater up here in Santiago Mountain, Santiago Peak. These are all tremors here at Santiago Peak. Like I said, all over Los Angeles, there are tremors and earthquakes. Tremors here at Santiago Peak. I'm not done. How about Santa Monica Airport? Northern Los Angeles, Santa Monica Airport. Here always see our tremors. Actually, we see less tremors here today than we have in the past. For whatever reason, I don't know. But even here in Santa Monica, the ground is shaking here. Nobody's feeling it. Tremors can't be felt, but the ground is still moving. Okay? I showed you Santiago Peak. Now, let's see here. Let's go over to Long Beach. Look what's happening here in Long Beach, guys. The top of this seismogram over on the left-hand side is 5 a.m. this morning. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Mostly 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here. The longer lines you see on this seismogram are at least 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. The shorter lines you see on the black and red line at the bottom, minor 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes. Long Beach is moving. In the past year, Long Beach, we've seen 3.0, 3.5 small earthquakes in Long Beach. That happens frequently. That happens frequently, almost every other day. But this is today. 5 a.m. till after 2, actually after 1. The red line here on the left is 1:15. So come over here to about 1:25, 1:24 this afternoon. This seismic activity doesn't stop. This is ongoing every minute, every hour of every day. This is Long Beach. Let's go take a look at Anaheim. Wait till you see this. This is what's going on in Anaheim, where Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm are. Center of LA. Up at the top, we have tremors. But getting started about 6:15, 6:30 on the blue line, starts building up. Minor tremors. 6:45, it's building up. But at 7 a.m., not just tremors, but minor earthquakes here as well. We're seeing 2.0s, we're seeing 2.5s, we're seeing 2.6 and 2.7 earthquakes happening here in Anaheim, California. This is a State Street seismogram here in Los Angeles. Anaheim, California. Look what's going on here, guys. Here in Anaheim, we've had 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes even in the past 2 months. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Anaheim during the past 2 to 3 months. When that happens, the rides at Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland have to shut down to make sure the rails of the roller coasters still hold the cars on top of the rails. Yeah. They have to make sure the roller coasters are still safe. Every time there's a 3.0 earthquake or larger, they have to shut down the roller coasters to check the track. This is what's happening in Anaheim, California. Mostly minor earthquakes here today. I don't see any 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim at all. Close to it, but not 3.0. 3.0, 3.9 are called small earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes. 1.0, 1.9 are called tremors. Smaller than 1.0 are called microquakes. 0.0, 0.1 to 0.9 are microquakes. That's what's going on here in Los Angeles. It's happening every day. I could report this every day for years. It wouldn't change. Yes, some of the earthquakes happen that are larger than this. But guys, Los Angeles itself is booming. Booming with earthquakes. Now the people watch them drop down to 38 people. That's insane. That's literally insane. Hurricane Heather says, don't get too curious about coyotes. Coyotes are all over the place. Literally all over Los Angeles, eastern LA, out in the deserts, out in San Diego County. They used to pay us $1 for a coyote tail. They paid us $1 for a coyote tail because coyotes were overrunning Poway, California, where I used to live. So they were paying us at least $1 for a coyote tail. Incredible. Insane. They were paying us 50 cents a piece for rats. Yeah. Great big huge rats were also running rampant all over San Diego County. We lived in North San Diego County in Poway. But things are moving. Literally all over LA. Now, let's go to San Diego. Like I said, I showed you San Diego City, and I showed you where Mission Valley was. Just north of Mission Valley is Fraser Road and Marina Boulevard. Up here on the road here is San Diego Gas and Electric. Here we see nothing but tremors here in San Diego City. Nothing but tremors here in San Diego City, which is unreal. I know we're seeing earthquakes here, but they're not showing up on the maps. They're not showing up on the seismograms either. All we're seeing here in San Diego are tremors here. That changes from day to day. Sometimes we see tremors, sometimes we see full-blown minor earthquakes. That happens. Let's go out to the Imperial Valley where I showed you. Okay? I'm going to show you some earthquakes now. North Shore Salton Sea. This is where the San Andreas Fault reaches the Salton Sea. Here we see tremors and increased tremors here. Look at these long duration tremors caused by the San Andreas Fault. North Shore Salton Sea. How about Bombay Beach? In this particular case, this is a USGS seismograph. USGS seismograph. Guess what? 2.0s, 2.5 earthquakes. The top of this seismogram is showing us 2 p.m. last night. 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. 1400 hours. 1400 at the top. 2.5s. 2.6s, 2.7 earthquakes here. You see some tremors here as well. There are about 30 events here on the top of this seismogram. 30 events here on the top of the seismogram from 2 until midnight last night. After 10:30, you don't see much of anything at all. What happened here at 3:20 this morning? 3:20 this morning, we have a 1.7 tremor. Just after 4 a.m. this morning, another 1.5 tremor. Actually 1.3, I'm sorry, 1.3. First one was 1.5, this is 1.3. Then the seismologists come back to work. Look what happened after 5 a.m. this morning. Between 5 a.m. and 3:30 this afternoon. Look at all these earthquakes here. This is Calipatria, you guys. This is where the San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea. There are over 100 earthquakes on the seismogram here. 100 earthquakes on the seismogram, ranging in size from tremors to minor earthquakes here. 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes here at Calipatria. This is serious. They didn't show any of this, did they? They didn't show even one tremor there. This is what is going on in the Imperial Valley every day. Calipatria used to have 100 to 150 earthquakes a day at Calipatria. Look at the time period here. Just after 10 p.m. last night, they basically turned off the seismograph. They turned off the seismograph. They turned it so far down it wasn't recording much of anything. Yes, after they turned it down, there was 3 tremors here that were recorded by the seismograph. They turned the seismograph down, turned down the electronics. So these tremors were probably earthquakes. The tremors were possibly earthquakes because the seismic activity made it through the turn down. But how many other seismic events happened that didn't make it past the turn down? They didn't used to do that. They used to let the seismograph roll. The seismograph rolled, and the seismograph rolled all day long. 24/7. But they basically turn it off for about 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours every day. Otherwise, we'd see again 100 to 150 earthquakes a day. We see over 100 earthquakes today here at Calipatria. Over 100 earthquakes here at Calipatria today. Look at that. Isn't that wild? That's absolutely crazy. Now, let's drop down to the town of Imperial, right here. Last week we showed you a 3.0 earthquake here in the town of Imperial. Here we have tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes after 6 a.m. this morning here in the center. 6 a.m. over on the left-hand side of this diagram. Here in the right center, minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes. About 6:09, 6:10 this morning, we have minor earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.0, 2.0, all the way here for nearly a minute and a half. Yeah. Minor earthquakes and tremors here. Unreal. Imperial's still moving. Let's drop down to El Centro. Look at El Centro. 15 3.0 and large earthquakes here in El Centro. Look at these lines that connect some of these earthquakes though. See these horizontal curvy lines? Those horizontal curvy lines are magma. Magma headed for the Salton Butte volcano. Magma coming in off the Pacific Ocean, going through San Diego City, out to the county area, okay? Out through the county area of Julian, Pine Mountain, over here through Ocotillo, El Centro here, all the way out to the Salton Butte volcano that's in the southern part of the Salton Sea. Earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes here in the town of El Centro, California. Every day this is happening now. It started happening about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's been ongoing like this since then. Every day this is happening. Juanito and his family live here in El Centro. When he's been here with us in the past, I've showed him this. He says he's felt those earthquakes. He's told everybody he's feeling these earthquakes here. Yes, Joe Shinpaw is here. Could be from the solar flares as well. Yes, it could be. It absolutely could be. The plasma radiation is going through space, going through our magnetosphere that's very, very, very sensitive right now because we've had a lot of sharp plasma radiation going through it, going through our atmosphere, heating up the atmosphere, going down to the earth like this, heating up the plates, heating up the earthquake faults, all the stuff that's there, guys, all the stuff that's been holding the faults and the plates in place, all the stuff that's holding the plates in place and the faults in place is friction, rock, dirt, biological material. When that stuff heats up through either electromagnetic radiation coming from planetary alignments and or solar flares, plasma radiation coming from the sun, heats up all that crap, like I said, all the dirt, all the sand, all the rock, all the biological material, heating that stuff up, turns that stuff into a greasy, oily-like substance. Heating up allows the plates and the faults to more freely move like this. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on. Okay? Yes, it's also causing this magma to more freely move. It helps heating up the magma as well. Magma is heated up from anywhere from 1,400 degrees to 2,500 degrees, depending on where it's at. Okay? That's what's going on. Now, Linda Covington says don't go outside if you don't have to. In some part, I agree with that. Okay? Like I said, we've had a lot of We've had a lot of solar flares, X-class solar flares. The upper, we've had X.9. X.9, guys. Those are the those are the largest and the most dangerous flares we can have. Yes, we've had those flares. Okay? If you don't have to go out during those heavy duty X-ray flares, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? The X-rays hit the Earth almost immediately, within a matter of hours after the original solar flare. After that, we see plasma radiation hitting the Earth within 2 to 3 days. When that happens, it interferes with our radio communication, radio blackouts all around the Earth, especially the Earth side facing the sun. Then the plasma radiation and the X-ray radiation, when it hits the Earth, it completely surrounds the Earth like this. First hits the Earth side facing the sun, and then it literally engulfs the Earth like this. Okay? Yesterday evening, Mark Wages was on the air with Wages World. He showed what happened during the past few days. This is what's going on. The plasma radiation is hitting the Earth and it's causing earthquakes. It's causing the volcanoes to erupt. And it's also interfering with radio communications, television communications. You see on your, if you have satellite television or cable, you see all kinds of flickering going on. Your screen may go blank, or all kinds of what looks like cybergrams going on. That's all caused by plasma radiation. Okay? We have radio blackouts. Okay? All television is radio communication. Radio communication. Ham radios, high frequency police, fire, and paramedic radios get interfered with. Okay? FM radios get interfered with as well. High frequency radio communications. It also affects humans, affects all kinds of animals, messes with their brains, messes with their bodies. If you had increased body pain, doesn't matter whether you're elderly or not. If you're watching this program, you might be 16 years old, you might be 20, 40 years old, 60, 70 years old. If you're having a lot of increased body pain, the solar flares may be causing part of that as well. Okay? What's going on? It's definitely packing a wallop. Okay? Heather's having her arthritis acting up. I've got sciatica pain going crazy. I have pain in my legs. I have cramps in my legs early morning, even right now to some extent. Ice helps. Yes, ice packs do help. Thanks, Linda Covington. God bless you. God bless you. Now, guys, be very careful. Be very careful. This is ongoing. This is not going to stop. This is not going to stop. Let me show you one more seismogram. The next seismogram I'm going to go to is Holdville, where I showed you on the map. Holdville, California. This is a Salton Sea Desert Research Station, Holdville. Look what we're seeing here. We're seeing tremors and some tiny 2.0 earthquakes. We're seeing some 2.0 earthquakes. Only a couple of them. But look at all the tremors here. Look at all the tremors here. It's ongoing, guys. Heather says she has to have heat with her osteoarthritis. I can only imagine. As Heather says, the plasma radiation will affect your moods, affect your pain levels, affect your mental health. Absolutely. Absolutely does. I used to hate, when I was a cop, I used to hate when we had solar flares. I even hate it more when we have full moons. That's when all heck broke loose, when we had full moons and even planetary alignments. Back in the day, back then, I didn't really realize that mental health went out the window because of planetary alignments. But full moons always cause problems. Does anybody have any questions about what I just showed you? Lena says, oh, because I feel a little more off than usually. Yes, absolutely. Even Carol and I feel a little bit off. Carol, for the first time in a while, I had to take some pain medication during the last few days because of what's happening. And by the way, Carol's birthday is tomorrow. My wife Carol's birthday is tomorrow. So if you guys want to send her cards, want to send her letters, even on Facebook to wish her happy birthday, Carol Tyler on Facebook. Okay. She's also got a Facebook Messenger account, so you can send her comments, messages on her Messenger account as well. She'd love to hear from you. Lena says she's a senior with extra pain. So am I. So am I. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name here. Yellow Hot, I think. How many earthquakes worldwide, Ron? I'm going to say probably close to 2,000 earthquakes worldwide. 2,000 earthquakes worldwide. Just in Western Turkey alone, there's over 200 plus earthquakes. Northwestern Turkey alone, there's over 200 earthquakes. I showed you over in Cyprus, 45 earthquakes in Cyprus. They showed us 4. They showed us 4. 500 earthquakes every day in the Imperial Valley. 400 in Los Angeles. That's 900 in Southern California every day. But throughout the world, I would dare say there's at least 2,000 earthquakes worldwide. And USGS on their map only says there's 235. They do not come anywhere close to showing us exactly what's going on. They don't come anywhere close to show us what is really happening here or around the world. Doesn't matter whether it's the United States, it doesn't matter whether it's England. I show you earthquakes in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Yeah, literally around the world. Literally around the world. And yet they want to only show us a handful of earthquakes. My gosh, what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture, guys? This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. Does anybody have any questions? These are all good questions, guys. I appreciate you asking that. How many earthquakes worldwide? Probably close to 2,000. Hurricane Heather says, sir, I'll check your messages too. Yes, I will. Thank you. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate that. Any other questions? I'll be happy to answer them. Got 51 people watching now. That's great. That's awesome. I got people's attention here. I'm glad. Because, guys, your lives depend on it. You need to know what's going on. Because these earthquakes are only going to get larger. These earthquakes are only going to get larger. We've seen an increase in seismic activity. We've seen an earthquake in solar flares as well. It's happening. It's happening. Renee is asking, has the situation improved in Iceland? No, it hasn't. more and more of the earthquakes in Iceland. And I expect another volcanic eruption any day in Iceland. Yeah. I fully expect to hear that they've had another volcanic eruption, a huge fissure eruption at that. Long fissure eruption in Iceland. It's coming. It's any day. Literally any day. Yes, Lena, that's a lot. That's a lot of earthquakes. On my earthquake tracker, it says we've had 1,400 earthquakes on the earthquake tracker. But they don't even come close to accounting for all the earthquakes in the Southern California area. There it's closer to 1,000 earthquakes a day in just LA, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley. Yeah. Right there. Incredible. Incredible. They're not showing all the earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest as well. Yesterday, I probably showed you 300 earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest. Just yesterday. That didn't include all the earthquakes at the volcanoes caused by magma inside the magma chamber of the volcanoes. Those were just earthquakes over on land. Earthquakes over on land along the coastline as well. Every day. That didn't account for all the earthquakes around the world yesterday. Incredible. Yes, Renee, the storms are coming. It's crazy. And guys, I appreciate all the birthday wishes yesterday here and on my Facebook account. And even over on my email. Thank you much. Appreciate it. I got over 72 birthday wishes on Facebook alone. Thank you so much. I got them on my Messenger account. I got them on our email. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Today I want to go over Romans. I want to give you a little bit of devotion because we talk about bad things all the time. Not just earthquakes. We talk about all kinds of things that we don't like to have happen in our lives. But when I talk about devotionals, I try to lift you up. Lift you up with spiritual lift up. Spiritual increase. I want to go to Romans chapter 6. In the first verse. Okay? Chapter 6 talks about baptism, being in the similitude of the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The wages of sin is death, and Christ brings eternal life. Verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, the grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Jesus Christ were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. Each one of us should walk in newness of life every day. By grace we are saved. Through our baptism we are saved. Guys, obey the commandments of God. Obey the commandments of God. Walk in his paths. We talked about the covenant path here before. Walk in the covenant path. Walk in the covenant path. Christ loves you. Jesus Christ loves you, brothers and sisters. He loves each one of us. He's here for each one of us. Remember that. Christ is here for each one of us to help us and bless our lives. Be prepared. As I've said before, I believe we are in the tribulation right now. I think it's going to even get worse. Stay on the covenant path. Obey the commandments and follow God. Okay? I'm here for you. I'm just one of Christ's servants here on this earth. I'm here for all of you. I appreciate all of you here. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. I hope you have a good night and a better tomorrow. We'll see you on the other side. Linda says, sir, sending Carol a PayPal. Just keep checking for it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll tell her. As soon as I get off the program, I'll tell her that. God be with you this day and always. God will bless you. I promise you, God will bless you and hold your hand. Literally hold your hand. May God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you.